Welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep today into Amazon's 2023 shareholder letter.
Ooh, exciting.
It is, it is. Because, beyond just like the profit numbers and all that, this letter really gives us a look into how Amazon, thinks,
Right.
what they're focused on building, and where they might be headed.
It's a real roadmap. It's not just for investors.
No, no. And one thing that I kept seeing pop up was this idea of primitives.
Mm,
And I think it's a huge part of how they've been so successful.
it really is.
But before we get into all that, let's talk about the those big numbers they posted.
Yeah.
12% revenue growth. They hit over $500 billion.
It's pretty remarkable, especially given how, the economy has been kind of shaky.
Yeah.
But even more impressive to me, at least, is that operating income jump.
Oh, yeah.
201%.
Whoa.
That's not just growth. That's like efficiency on another level.
Yeah, but how do they do that?
Right.
How do they keep growing profits while also being so focused on the customer experience? Usually you have to pick one, right?
Right. But I think that's where the whole primitives thing comes in.
Yeah.
It's not just about being customer obsessed. It's how they achieve it.
Okay, you're going to have to explain this to me. What are these primitives? Why should the average person even care?
Okay, so imagine Legos. You got your basic blocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you combine them in different ways, build pretty much anything. That's what Amazon does, but with technology.
Oh,
They build these core components, these primitives, and they can reuse them, recombine them to solve all sorts of different problems.
so they're not reinventing the wheel every time they want to offer something new.
Exactly. They've got this whole arsenal of tech tools ready to go.
For example.
Think about Amazon Prime's super fast delivery.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That wasn't magic. It was built on top of their existing warehousing, the picking, the packing, the shipping. Those are the primitives.
So they use the same stuff that powers their massive warehouses to make it crazy easy for me to get a toothbrush in 2 days.
Exactly. And they didn't stop there. They applied those same logistics primitives to build fulfillment by Amazon.
FBA.
Yep. For third-party sellers.
Yeah.
Suddenly, anyone can tap into that logistical superpower.
Right. Makes sense. New revenue stream for Amazon, too.
Exactly.
But is this primitive thing just about logistics?
No, no, no. That's the beauty of it. It's versatile.
Hmm?
They're using it for AWS, their cloud computing platform, healthcare, even robotics.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Healthcare and robots, that's getting a little sci-fi, isn't it?
Maybe, but it's happening. And the primitives are a key part of it.
Okay, but how? Give me a real-world example.
Let's take AWS. Super complex system,
Okay.
right? But at its heart, it's built from these modular primitives, computing power, storage, databases.
Okay.
By combining those in different ways, they offer a ton of different services, from simple web hosting to super complex AI tools.
So that's how they can handle both tiny startups and huge corporations all on the same platform.
Exactly. And it makes them adaptable, too. Like, as new tech comes out, they can just plug it in as a new primitive,
Hmm.
offer cutting-edge stuff without rebuilding the whole system.
It's like a constantly evolving tech ecosystem. I like that. But what about robotics? Where do the primitives fit in there?
Think about their warehouse robots. They're not just mindless machines, right? They're built on a foundation of primitive capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Navigation, object recognition, manipulating stuff.
Mhm.
Those same primitives that let a robot sort packages could be used to build one that assists surgeons in an operating room.
Whoa. Okay, that's pretty wild. So these
Yeah.
primitives aren't just about efficiency. They're like the engine of Amazon's innovation.
You got it. It lets them move faster,
Yeah.
experiment more, enter new markets super quickly, like a shortcut to the future almost.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. This is way more interesting than I thought it would be. But we are supposed to be doing a deep dive on the shareholder letter. Did Andy Jassy talk about any specific wins in 2023 where this primitive magic was at play?
Oh, absolutely. He highlighted a bunch of stuff, especially for customer experience. Remember those crazy delivery speeds we talked about?
7 billion items delivered same day or next day. I'm still kind of blown away by that.
That's primitives in action. They took those core logistics capabilities we talked about, built a network of same-day facilities, increased those super fast deliveries by almost 70%.
Wait, so those same-day facilities are built on the same primitives as their giant fulfillment centers?
Exactly. And they're not just for packages. They're experimenting with how those facilities could change grocery shopping.
What do you mean?
Like add milk, eggs, whatever, to your Amazon order, get it delivered same day.
Hold on, you're saying these little delivery hubs could change how I buy groceries?
Imagine a network of them, strategically placed, stocked with fresh stuff. You order, it gets routed to the nearest one, boom, groceries at your door in a couple hours.
That's wild. But it makes sense, right? They're taking what they already have, applying it to a new problem.
Exactly. And that's just one example. They're constantly playing with these primitives, finding new ways to combine them, create amazing customer experiences.
It's like they're playing with giant tech Legos.
Aha, kind of.
But instead of castles, they're building the future of how we shop, live, everything.
Pretty much.
Okay, I'm sold on this whole primitives thing. It's like seeing behind the curtain and understanding how Amazon does what it does.
It's fascinating stuff.
And it's just the beginning. This primitives approach is shaping their strategy in all sorts of areas, even artificial intelligence.
Oh, yeah. AI is a huge part of it.
Okay, now I really want to hear more.
Me too.
But before we get into all that AI stuff, I think we need to take a little break, let all this sink in.
Good idea. This is a lot to process.
It is. We'll be right back after the break to talk about all that exciting AI stuff.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so we're back. And my brain is still like buzzing from all this talk about primitives. It's like everywhere at Amazon.
It really is like a secret code to their success.
Totally. But I'm dying to know how this connects to AI, especially all this generative AI stuff. It feels like that's all anyone's talking about these days.
It's a great example of how Amazon thinks.
Wow.
You know, they're not just jumping on the bandwagon with AI, they're building the whole infrastructure for it.
Oh, wow.
And using, you guessed it, primitives.
So they're not just using AI, they're making it possible for everyone else to use it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're approaching it on like 3 levels. First, they're building these foundational AI models, the brains behind all the cool stuff. They're even designing their own custom AI chips.
Wait, what? Custom chips?
Yeah, tritium and inferentia.
Yeah.
It's all about making these models more powerful and more cost-effective.
I mean, those companies just buy chips, right? Why is Amazon going through all this trouble?
Control. They want to own the whole thing, from the silicon to the software. It gives them an edge, performance-wise. I see. But more importantly, it lets them offer AI services on AWS at a price no one else can match.
So it's like primitives, but on a hardware level.
Yeah, they're building the fundamental building blocks of AI. Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, a little bit. What's the second level?
Leveraging existing foundation models. So they have this service called Amazon Bedrock. Think of it like a toolbox for businesses who want to build their own AI applications. It gives them access to a bunch of pre-trained models so they don't have to start from scratch.
So even if you're not like a giant company, you can still get in on the AI action.
Exactly. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's actually like really democratizing.
And it's smart business. They're not just building AI, they're building the whole ecosystem around it.
It makes AWS even more attractive.
Right.
Okay, but what about Amazon's own projects? What are they doing with AI?
Oh, tons of stuff. This is the third level. Applying AI to real-world problems, like Alexa. They're using generative AI to make her even smarter, more conversational, able to handle more complex stuff.
So it's less like, Alexa, play my workout playlist, and more like actually having a conversation with her.
Exactly. And they're testing this AI shopping assistant called Rufus. It can answer questions about products, compare features, even give you personalized recommendations.
Whoa, like a digital personal shopper?
Basically.
What else? Are they teaching robots to write poetry now?
Haha, not poetry, but code. They have this thing called Amazon Q, an AI-powered coding companion. Helps developers write better code faster.
So even they are using AI to be more productive.
Of course. It's this like self-reinforcing loop. And that's just the beginning. They see generative AI transforming almost every part of their business.
That's pretty mind-blowing. But is Amazon just like chasing the hype with AI, or do they really think it's the future?
Andy Jassy was very clear in the letter. They think this is bigger than the cloud. He even said most AI applications are going to be built on the cloud, which puts AWS in a pretty good spot.
Right. So they're all in on AI. Makes sense. They've always been early adopters.
Right. Think about how fast they embraced the cloud with AWS. Changed the whole game.
Yeah, they're not afraid to take risks. And it usually pays off. It's almost like they can predict the future or something.
Maybe. But AI is a bit controversial these days too, right? All the ethical stuff, people worrying about jobs.
True, true. There are definitely big questions about how we use AI responsibly, but I mean, we're focused on Amazon's strategy here.
Exactly. Sticking to what they said in the letter.
But speaking of strategy, it's not all about shiny new tech, right? They talked about these core principles too, the stuff that guides how they make decisions.
Absolutely. And those principles are like what keeps them grounded. even as they're doing all this crazy innovative stuff.
Okay, I'm interested. What are these principles? How do they connect to everything else we've been talking about? Okay, so we've talked about primitives being like Amazon's secret weapon and how they're applying it to everything, logistics, AI, the whole thing. But I'm curious, what are the principles behind all this? The stuff that really makes it work?
Yeah, it's not enough to just have a cool tech strategy, right? You
Hmm.
need the right culture, the right mindset. And Andy Jassy actually laid out 5 core principles in this letter.
Oh, interesting.
I think they're key to understanding how Amazon does what it does.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's principle number one?
Hiring builders.
Okay, that makes sense.
But it's not just about finding people with the right technical skills. It's about finding people who are passionate about creating,
Mm.
solving problems, people who aren't afraid to challenge things.
So they're looking for people who think like them, who just naturally want to build and improve stuff.
Exactly. They want people who see a problem and think, how can we fix this? Not, that's not my job.
I like that.
And that mindset shows up everywhere, from how they design products to how they handle customer service.
Yeah, you need the right people to build those primitives and then actually use them to create cool stuff. So what's the next principle?
Solving real customer challenges.
Ah, classic Amazon.
Right. They don't build technology just for the sake of it. It's always about starting with the customer.
It's that customer obsession thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see it as an actual principle.
It's deeply ingrained in their culture. They're constantly asking, what problems do our customers have and how can we solve them better, faster, cheaper, more convenient?
Which ties in perfectly with the primitives approach.
Absolutely. They're not just throwing random solutions at problems. They're building reusable tools that can be used in all sorts of situations.
It's brilliant when you think about it. But there's more, right? Principle number 3 is...
Building in primitives.
Yeah. We've covered that one pretty well. What about the others?
Okay, so number 4 is embracing beneficial technology. It might seem obvious, but it's super important in tech. Things change so fast. Amazon's always looking for new tools and ideas that can give them an advantage.
So they're not afraid to, jump on the next big thing, even if it means changing things up.
They're not afraid to evolve, to try new things. Remember what Andy Jassy said about not fighting gravity? They know tech keeps moving forward.
Yeah, that makes sense. It explains their whole cloud strategy, their investments in AI, even the drones.
Exactly. Okay, ready for the last principle.
Yeah, hit me.
Learning from failures.
Interesting.
Especially for a company that loves to experiment.
Right.
They know that not every idea is going to be a winner.
Oh, for sure.
They take risks, and sometimes, things don't work out. But the important thing is to learn from those mistakes.
So failure is a necessary part of the process.
You could say that. It's all about getting better, iterating, improving. Amazon's culture really encourages that.
I mean, that's how you get breakthroughs, right? You got to be willing to try things and maybe fail sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a big part of what makes them so successful. They don't let setbacks stop them.
It's really cool to see how all these principles fit together. Hiring builders, solving customer problems, building in primitives, embracing new tech, and learning from failures. It's like a blueprint for a really innovative company.
I think so too. And it's not just about technology. It's about having the right culture, the right mindset.
Well, I think we've been a pretty good deep dive into Amazon's 2023 shareholder letter.
Yeah, we really got into it.
More than just numbers. We saw how they think, how they make decisions, how they see the future. It's pretty inspiring, actually.
It is. It's a reminder that even the biggest companies are built on some pretty fundamental ideas.
And it's something that any company can learn from, no matter how big or small.
Totally. Focus on your customers, build reusable components, embrace new tech, and learn from your mistakes. Solid advice.
Couldn't agree more. Well, I think that about wraps it up for our deep dive. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty energized.
Me too. It's always fascinating to get a behind-the-scenes look at a company like Amazon.
Yeah. And if you want to learn even more, I highly recommend checking out the full shareholder letter. We just scratched the surface here.
And until next time, keep diving.
Keep diving.